All right, anybody ready for Christmas? All right. All right, we're ready. Let me ask, how many of you here for the first time? First-timers, hold up your hand. Wonderful. We're so glad that you've come. Thank you. I'm not going to ask who's been here the fourth time because that song, Sleigh Ride, is what we, past 3 years, have played for the encore. So if you look around, those people that are packing up and getting ready to go home, that's the reflex that comes. But there's more. We got lots more. Every year, we're just amazed at how God in His providence kind of put this group together. We have some of the most outstanding players in the area. We've got students from Peabody Music Conservatory. Hold up your hand, wave, all right. Yeah. Great players. We also have some active duty or retired military band members. We have some high school students from Chesapeake, Baytown. All right. We're glad to have Mr. Rupp, who's the orchestra and band director of Chesapeake High School. Right. And we also have our regular Faith Orchestra that plays every Sunday. So some of you all just, yep, there you go. All right. And we have one former member that every year has come from Florida to play with us. Gene Cedrus, our whippersnapper right down here. So, and then we have some people that just happen to be driving by and heard that you could get a free meal if you played with us. So they hold in, Gary. That's all right. We're glad that you're here. Our hope and prayer always is that we just can kind of kickstart this Christmas season and make it very special for you. We have a lot of reason to celebrate. And tonight we are going to just be privileged to be led in our narration by a young woman who has grown up in this church. A lot of you know her, and you know that when she was young, she really thought that Christmas was really about her. Because when she would go out to the neighborhood or go to the mall or go watch TV, she would see her name up in real broad red letters. And so she just thought, this is about me. And she's come to understand that's not exactly correct, but she still thinks Christmas is the most special time of the year. And so I can't think of a better person to have help me welcome our narrator for this evening, Joy Higgins.
Merry Christmas, everyone. 4th year of the Faith Symphony Orchestra. Who's excited? Well, you should be. This year we're going bigger and better than ever. We have a bigger orchestra, we've added a choir, multiple conductors, and due to the price of eggs, we're down to just one narrator. It's going to be a little difficult trying to keep up a conversation by myself, so tonight I'm going to need your help, and we will talk. To get us started, I want everyone on the count of 3 to shout out a Christmas song that you're most hoping to hear tonight. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Good news, we're doing all of those. Right, Pops? We can add on another hour, right? It's going to be a great night. Just as years passed, these gifted musicians are going to take us on a musical journey. We'll be reminded of Christmases past with memories of special moments with family and friends. We'll celebrate the Christmas of today as we reflect on the beauty and joy which surrounds us. And we will find hope in the Christmases of tomorrow as we end our journey where it all began. So basically, it's like a musical version of Scrooge with hopefully a few less ghosts. We invite you to sit back and enjoy a night of incredible music as we get started with a medley of carols celebrating the spirit of Christmas.
Boo to the Who's he was grinchily humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. He paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. What? This sound sounded glad. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
The Grinch. I've always loved the timeless message of his story, that just because you have strange, unnaturally colored hair does not mean you're a loser. One of the greatest things about Christmas is that we all have those favorite traditions that we return to year after year. Decorating the Christmas tree, arguing over who gets to put the star on top, driving around looking at Christmas lights, making Christmas cookies from your grandma's famous recipe. Show of hands, who here thinks that they have the best Christmas cookie recipe? Party at your house after. Or maybe it's just listening to our favorite Christmas songs throughout the season. As the orchestra plays these classics, let's embrace the nostalgia and let our hearts go to where they most want to be. And now it's time for the 4th annual obligatory Die Hard joke. We're going to take a quick little survey. Who here thinks that Die Hard's a Christmas movie? Okay, and the rest of you know that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. You're all correct. Just like Christmas music, Christmas movies are a huge part of the traditions that we love so much. Movies like Elf, Christmas Vacation, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Don't act surprised, we've all seen it. Music helps these stories come to life, whether it's a train speeding towards the North Pole, a child facing danger in his own home, or a misunderstood Grinch with cool hair. These are some of our favorite songs taken from stories that help expand our imagination year after year. time with you is unfortunately almost up. But hasn't the music tonight been absolutely beautiful? Christmas is beautiful, but Christmas is also chaotic. It's an adventure. Christmas is epic. And this calls for an epic song. If you were ever wondering what Christmas would sound like with a Marvel movie soundtrack, this is it. Our brilliant conductor Pops has said that at times this song will sound like you're being attacked by crows. And really, isn't that what Christmas is all about?
Wonderful. I tell you, it's such an honor for me to get to wave a stick and to hear such beautiful, exciting music come out. There's an old saying that if you can't play an instrument, they give you two drums and make you two sticks to make you a drummer. And if you can't play the drums, they take one stick away and make you a conductor. But we are so privileged to have this group of just so talented, dedicated musicians playing these amazing instruments. But there is one instrument that is even more majestic than all the rest. It's one not made by human hands. It's the glory of the human voice. And we are privileged tonight to have the chamber singers from Chesapeake High School to lead us in two numbers. These wonderful young ladies have been with us each presentation. And by the way, we consider you the smartest group because you figured that by the third time, if we don't know it by now, we're never going to get it. So you're smarter than all the rest. They're going to lead us in two numbers. The first is led by their director, Miss Dina Spiropoulos. Would you help me to welcome her to our stage, please? All right. So we've taken a turn in our program. What kind of birthday party would it be if you didn't recognize the guest of honor? And at Christmas, we celebrate an event that happened a little over 2,000 years ago when Jesus left the glory and the splendor of heaven, and he came to earth to be born in a very humble birth. He didn't have to, but he came to pay a price that we could not pay. And so we give him glory. All creation celebrated that night, and they began a refrain that we still sing, Gloria in excelsis Deo, glory to God in the highest. And so for the next 3 numbers, we're going to sing without interruption, and we're going to play for an audience of 1. And we invite you to join with us in just giving God the glory that is due, that we might give him our heart's devotion. We ask you to join with us in worship.
As a native of Glen Burnie, I feel like I can say this. I don't remember Glen Burnie ever sounding so beautiful. And also, as an alumni of Chesapeake High School, I'll give credit to those gals for making it happen. So yeah, not bad. I would like you to know that you are sitting in the midst of a grand invitation. To be clear, not an invitation to come up here on stage with these fine men and women. We will leave it to them to figure out how horsehair on a metal string sounds so good. And Gary, how a plunger and a bugle, yeah, there you go. If you run out, we got more in the bathroom. But an invitation nonetheless. See, at the very, very beginning, when the curtain opened on the stage that is our world, God created and started everything with three little words: let there be. And from those words came light and color, came oceans and galaxies, came the rhythms of day and night. There was symphony in this world long before trumpets and violins. But then something extraordinary happens. God picks up the dust of the earth, creates mankind, and he creates us to bear his image. Imago Dei in the Latin. He creates us to have the same creative heart that he, so that you and I might also let there be. It's the reason why sometimes you have the urge to write or to dance or to sing or to play or to compose or to build. It's God's fingerprint, his very fingerprint on our lives. So the question then becomes, to create what? In the 19th century, there was a Russian novelist named Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you know that name, you probably know his most famous work, Crime and Punishment. He wrote a lesser-known novel, slightly lesser-known, where he imagined a main character so compassionate, so full of grace, so full of love and sacrifice and living for other people that the world around him in this novel called him a fool. It's the reason the name of the novel itself is The Idiot. But from that novel comes one of my favorite lines. The main character, with great confidence, declared that beauty will save the world. And in the novel and now, we say that's foolish. In a world that knows that the only way to win is strength and power and success, beauty is, well, kind of idiotic. And maybe you might be feeling a little bit of that idiocy today. This is the busiest time of the year, is it not? And we are here in the midst of all of our busy schedules. We have gifts that we still haven't bought, gifts that we still haven't wrapped. We have emails to tend to. We have things that we need to do. And yet you and I in this evening did something that does not make very much sense on paper. You and I came to a room to just sit and listen to beautiful music. No productivity chart is going to give us any credit for today. It does not make much sense. In the same way, the world tells us that beauty, especially in the way of compassion and love and living for another, like the novel, like Christ, they tell us that that's kind of a foolish way to live as well. That's not how the real world works. So then the question remains, do you see the beauty in that beauty? The kind of beauty that saves the world. Because you and I, who are followers of Christ, we know that that beauty has a name. That Jesus is the one who is the highest expression of that beauty. He is the one who came into the mess of our world and proclaimed, let there be, and created from our mess something of profound beauty. He is the one who stepped out of heaven to come down into our mess to proclaim, let there be, and showed us and built for us the beautiful way of life, living for others. Jesus is the highest and greatest expression of that. So then where does that leave us as we create? I guess I can explain it in this way. Tonight and 2 weeks from now, there are two different musical acts happening on the stage. Tonight, there are people who have given their very lives to these instruments who, well, they sound really, really good. They have taken us through multiple chord progressions. They have brought us through many different, very intricate harmonies. And they have created, by the fingerprint of God on their lives, beauty. 2 weeks from today, my daughter, 5 years old, will be standing on this very stage with the rest of her kindergarten friends. And they will be jingling bells and trying to get through songs that even I, Todd, could one finger on the piano. And yet, they will be, by the fingerprint of God on their life, creating beauty. See, this group up here could write dissertations about music theory and technique, yet my daughter and her friends will barely be able to clap on time. And yet, both creating beauty from the opportunity and the platform that they have. Both of them, both groups, tonight and then will be declaring, let there be. Being a part of what God says is the beauty that can save the world. And so my brothers and sisters, tonight, I want you to know that while the humble instruments that are creating beauty tonight are in the hands of the brothers and sisters we see up here, while the instruments are in their hands, as we leave here, you and I head out to a chaotic world where the instruments of beauty become our very hands. They become our feet. They become our kitchen tables, our living room couches. They become the crossing of the street to love a neighbor, to pray for an enemy, to be someone who feeds, to be someone who clothes, to be a part of the beauty that saves the world. And so tonight, I don't want you to just hear instruments. Tonight, I want you to hear invitation. That the one who created this world is literally the one saying, no, this foolish way of beauty is how I've designed the world to be saved. And so tonight, don't just hear, again, instruments, but invitation. Don't just let this be invitation, but I pray tonight you might hear the beauty and know the beauty of the God who has created us and given us this beauty, then sent his son to be the perfect example of that beauty, and then invites all of us by the very fingerprint of his creation on our lives to go into the chaotic world, the world that won't slow down, the world that is harsh, the world that is hard, to go and be beauty. My brothers and sisters, you and I, please hear tonight for these final few moments of music, hear the invitation to be a part of the beauty that saves the world so that you and I, like they, can let there be.
Thank you so much. Can I ask you to be seated for just one more minute? We have figured out a way to get, oh, what's that?
No, you're good. So I've been calling this man Maestro for many years for a good reason. And tonight's our last show of the year. We look forward to you coming back and being a part of next year and hopefully next and next and next. But this is Dr. Raymond Higgins, who is about to give credit to all of the people behind him. But I want you to know in front of everyone that the reason they're here is because of your leadership. So. So whether you know it or not, and some of you are new, Dr. Raymond Maestro is moving into his 35th year of ministry here in Glen Burnie. And so when I say Glen Burnie has never looked so beautiful, brother, you've been making Glen Burnie beautiful for a long time. And so I want to thank you. So we also, this is not easy. And I'm not going to say this meaning, look at this old bag of bones over here, but he's 79 years old and still going for it. So that's, I tell you, when I hit 79, if I'm up here leading an orchestra, something's gone terribly wrong. So, but hey, we wanted to say thank you, and I thought about getting you a dozen roses or something, but that certainly wouldn't fit the Clint Eastwood look you have going. But so this is something that's been in my drawer for many years. I picked it up in an antique store because I knew I was going to give you a gift at some point in time. This is a Civil War era Mennonite hymnal that is wrapped up. Don't unwrap it because it might fall apart. But take this home for you and just let it be just a token of our appreciation and love. We thank you, Dr. Higgins Maestro. Appreciate you. Thank you. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I've said it time and again. This feeds my soul. All of us look for ways to express the gift that God has given us, and this church has allowed me to do that over the years. And I'm very grateful to God. I'm very grateful to this church for putting up with me for that long, and just the privilege of using what gifts God has given me. And obviously, a leader can't lead unless there's people that you're leading, and so I feel grateful always for the team. And for the Faith Orchestra that plays every Sunday and leads us in worship in music that I think is excellent. It honors the Lord with the excellence that we give. Our prayer always is that when we lead in worship, that we are worshipers, that we are lead worshipers first, and then we can lead others to experience just the beauty and the joy of knowing God and having peace with God. This Christmas, we celebrate Emmanuel. Emmanuel simply means God with us, which means God with me. And I know there are some of you here this Christmas who have lost a loved one, or you feel very alone. You've been isolated for some time. Christmas more than anything, and I've been there myself, but Christmas more than anything to me means that I am not alone. That wherever I am, in whatever situation in life I'm in, I am not alone. That God loved me enough to allow his son to come to earth and to go through all of this, our mess, and experience it for himself. And then to die, rise again, to be victorious, and then to come and be with us. So our prayer always is that Christmas time, this just begins your celebration. And find a time to just be filled with awe and wonder at the beauty and the glory that God has given us in the gift of his son. After this, just in a few minutes, we're going to begin clearing the stage and getting ready for another celebration next Sunday night. We have the 8:30 band, which leads us every Sunday morning at 9:30, is going to present a concert next Sunday at 6:45. So I would explain it, but it's complicated. But just remember 6:45 next Sunday night. Come back here. It's worth the price of admission. I'll guarantee you. It's free. But it is a wonderful, celebrative, deeply moving service. So I hope you'll come. Just join us and come just celebrate with the 8:30 band that performs at 9:30 and at 6:45 next Sunday. We're going to leave you hopefully with just a smile and just give you one more song to send you on your way. Thank you for coming.